Hello, I'm Ana Cabrera in New York. I'm going to pick up our coverage from here. You've been listening into Capitol Hill. That was Representative Pramila Jayapal. She is the chairwoman of the Progressive Caucus for the Democrats, essentially standing firm that if a vote happens on the bipartisan infrastructure bill today in the House, she says the votes aren't there from her caucus. She is demanding that there is a reconciliation bill passed by both chambers before they're willing to vote yes on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Let me bring in CNN's Lauren Fox on Capitol Hill and Caitlin Collins at the White House. I don't know where this leaves us, Lauren, because how can there be a vote today if they aren't there?
Digging in here, Ana, I think one thing that was very notable about this press conference that was just held with the progressives is that Jayapal is coming just a little bit over an hour after Manchin revealed that $1.5 trillion is his top line. There was also a document circulating that CNN has confirmed the authenticity of that included a lot of details about what Manchin would accept when it came to climate change, when it came to tax policy. It was the kind of document that maybe was going to be the catalyst or the change agent to actually get progressives to go along with this bipartisan infrastructure bill on the floor that we expect still to happen today, or at least that was the plan this morning. But instead, what you saw there was progressives saying it's not enough. They are willing to negotiate, they want to keep talking, but they want the bill to pass out of the Senate, that big social safety net bill to pass out of the Senate before they are willing to vote yes on that bipartisan infrastructure bill that is also critical to the president's agenda. You heard her there making it very clear that she views the entire package as the president's agenda and not just that smaller infrastructure bill. Meanwhile, Senator Joe Manchin talked to reporters earlier saying that $1.5 trillion was his number. He was sticking to that. Here's what he said to reporters.
I brought the 1.5, as you've seen, I think by now. The 1.5 was always done from my heart, basically what we could do and not jeopardize our economy. I'm willing to sit down and work through that 1.5 to get our priorities, and they can come back and do later, and they can run on the rest of it later.
And all eyes now are again on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Does she bring this to the floor for a vote, this $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill that already passed out of the Senate, or does she pull that bill? She's still going to continue talking with moderates and progressives today. She is trying to get a sense of where the caucus is, but clearly progressives are not giving in at this moment, and that is so significant given all of the movement over the last hour when it came to where moderates are in their position.
Caitlin, what are you hearing from the White House?
Well, I think one thing that we talked about yesterday was a lot of this is going to come down to trust. And what Jayapal was making clear there is they do not trust the moderate senators, Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Sinema, just at their word when it comes to this reconciliation package. And you can see why based on that gaggle that Manchin gave earlier where he said maybe they can come to an agreement on something, but talking about how long that's going to take. And as Lauren just laid out, you see how far apart the progressives are from what people like Senator Joe Manchin say that they are looking at. And so one thing that we have asked the White House yesterday was whether or not the president thought that it could be a kind of trust situation between those progressives and those moderates. And Jayapal said there that their trust is going to be a vote from the Senate. She says that is their only ironclad assurance. And so we should talk about what the president is doing here, because his number one goal is getting Manchin and Sinema on board with this. Those are the two figures that he has spoken to the most this week, that his staff has spoken to their staff as well, as they are trying to get to a number here. And Manchin said he has told the president in the last week that $1.5 trillion top line that he laid out to reporters earlier. He said the president responded that he wanted a lot more than that. Obviously, they talked about their mutual areas of shared priorities, but he said that the president told him he understands that he is not going to go against his convictions, meaning Manchin. And right now he says his convictions are that $1.5 trillion top line. So, of course, where this goes from here and what the president's next step is remains to be seen. And, of course, it seems very unlikely this vote is going to happen based on what they have said, that Nancy Pelosi is not going to bring it to the floor for a vote if it doesn't have the votes. And Jayapal saying there, right now, it doesn't have the votes.
Caitlin, quickly, if you will, has the president been clear whether he wants a vote on this infrastructure bill today?
What we were told by The White House yesterday is he is following Pelosi's lead on this, and that if they delayed the vote, that it would not, that they would be fine with that. Essentially, that they would support it. And his secretary, his energy secretary, essentially was backing up that earlier today when she was on CNN, saying that if there's not a vote today, it is not the end of the world in the White House's eyes. Of course, it's a massive change from what Democrats had been expecting to happen when they wanted a vote on Monday, delayed it until today. But I think the White House is acknowledging the reality here, which is that there is not an agreement for there to be a vote. And so if they push the vote, that is the reality that they're being met with here on this Thursday.
We'll see how Speaker Pelosi responds to this latest headline from Jayapal, those comments we just brought to our viewers live on our air. Caitlin Collins, Lauren Fox, ladies, I love the wine-colored outfits we all have on today. Excellent reporting. Thank you both so much.